Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to another weekly astrology forecast. This week we have some really beautiful aspects. We're having the Venus Jupiter conjunction, and this is going to be honestly the best energy of the year. So, this month, and especially this week, we are going to have some really incredible, really amazing energy for all the signs. I did make a specific video just for this Venus Jupiter conjunction because this is something that astrologers have been waiting for 12 years, because it only happens once every 12 years that Venus and Jupiter meet in the sign of Cancer, which is its sign of exaltation. But a couple other aspects that we're having this week as well is on Wednesday, so the day right after this Venus Jupiter conjunction, we are having Mercury in Cancer square Saturn in Aries. And this is a bit of an aspect of tension because squares are always bringing a little bit of tension. Mercury being our communication, our intellect, the way we speak, the way we think, and Saturn bringing some restriction, some limitation, feeling like you can't fully express yourself, feeling like there's some issue with the way that you're expressing yourself, or feeling like there's some sort of miscommunication, misinterpretation of the things that you're trying to say and get across. Because Mercury in Cancer is a highly emotional type of Mercury placement, so our communication, our thoughts are colored by a bit of a more emotional lens. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon changes signs every 2 days, 2.5 days. Therefore, when you have Mercury, or intellect or communication, being ruled by such a quickly transiting planet or luminary such as the moon, the way that we think, the way that we communicate is constantly shifting, constantly changing based off of the emotions, the situations, the things that are happening around us. And so it can be a little bit flaky, it can feel a little bit volatile to some people, especially with Saturn being in Aries. Saturn likes to keep things calm, cool, and collected, likes to keep things very stable and secure. And Aries does have a little bit more of that passionate energy, but it's fire, remember. It's a passionate fire energy. It does carry that emotionality to it, but it's very direct and impulsive. Meanwhile, Cancer does think a little bit more about what it's about to say because it cares more about how its expression and its communication is received on an emotional level to the people around it. So there could be a little bit of a back and forth between wanting to care for how you express yourself and how it lands and how it's received by other people, but there's also another part of you that wants to just express and say what's on your mind and just put it all out there. And then on Saturday, towards the end of the week, we're having Venus moving into the sign of Leo. This is going to be a beautiful energy for Leo placements, of course, so Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and Venus. Also, any of the fire signs, so Sagittarius and Aries, you guys are going to be making a trine aspect to this Venus in Leo. Venus moving into the sign of Leo is very expressive when it comes to love. It actually is a really good Venus placement to have. It's not like Venus in Taurus or Venus in Libra where Venus feels at home, but it's a good placement to have simply because Leo is ruled by the heart. Leo loves love and has a very big, generous heart. And however, once Leo's loyalty gets broken or shattered, you don't want to deal with a Leo. So Venus moving into the sign of Leo, it's very grandiose expressions of love. It can be like love bomby type of energy, but in the moment it feels really good. It's about maximizing joy. It's about maximizing pleasure when it comes to romance, when it comes to love, when it comes to money matters as well, because Venus rules money. And once again, if you do have any Leo placements, Venus going into your sign, if you're a Leo sun and Leo rising specifically, this is going to amplify your beauty, your charisma, your magnetism. People are going to be attracted to you. People are going to be looking at you like, damn. So overall, this week is very, very beautiful. I kind of want to touch back on this Venus-Jupiter conjunction. Like I said, I did make a full video on how this is going to be affecting you and going house by house based off of where Cancer lies in your chart. You can go ahead and check that out. But this conjunction is going to be coming exact on June 9th around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be its culmination point. But up until that point, we are going to be feeling this buildup of energy. And a lot of times I've noticed that the energy is more strongly felt as we're building up to the energy as opposed to when it actually reaches its climax conjunction. But of course, we will see as the days unfold how this energy plays out. If you have any prominent placements in Cancer, specifically towards the end degrees of Cancer, I want to say from 20 to 29 degrees of Cancer, you will be feeling this so much. This is a beautiful energy that brings blessings, love, opportunity, wealth, abundance, just overall feelings of good energy. Because remember, Jupiter just expands everything that it touches. And Jupiter being in its sign of exaltation in the sign of Cancer, this only happens once every 12 years. So Jupiter being in the sign of Cancer, in its sign of exaltation, meeting up with Venus in Cancer, is only amplifying the energies of Venus to its highest degree. Cancer being the sign of just love, nurturing, community, coming together with other people. So overall, this week is going to be very beautiful energy, and it is going to linger as, we get into the rest of the week. I highly recommend to just relish in this energy, go out, meet new people, allow the universe to give you opportunities to receive your luck and blessings in abundance. Because if you're at home, you're not really doing much, you're kind of keeping to yourself, you're not allowing the universe avenues or giving avenues for the universe to bless you, then it's going to feel like any other day to you for the most part. I mean, obviously things can happen while you're still at home. Like you could receive a notification on your phone all of a sudden, like someone deposits $5,000 into your account. Of course, that could definitely be a possibility. But I would say definitely if you're a Cancer, or if you do have any water placements as well, because this is going to make a beautiful trine. So Pisces and Scorpio as well. This is going to be a very beautiful magnetic time for these blessings and opportunities to come in. So you want to make sure that you're doing the most that you can to allow these opportunities to come in. Go where your intuition is guiding you. Go where you feel called to go. Even if it's something completely weird, out of the blue, out of the ordinary from what you're used to doing, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? You receive something great. Come on. So overall, that's the energy for this week. The signs that are going to be the most affected, obviously we've already spoke about them. It's going to be Cancer, it's going to be Aries, it's going to be Leo as well. The water signs, because they're going to be making a beautiful trine, so Pisces and Scorpio. And the fire signs are going to be making a trine to Venus when Venus enters Leo towards the end of the week. But that's going to be more so as we continue on into the month. So that's going to be more relevant to Sagittarius and Aries as well with Leo as we move on towards the rest of the week and into the rest of the month. So, as I usually do with these weekly astrology forecasts, I do like to pick some tarot cards for overall energy, for an advice card, and also for a challenge card. So that way we can just, ask the tarot, see what type of supporting energies we have going on this week. Oh, what a beautiful card for the overall energy of the week. Can we expect anything less? The Sun. The Sun card. Look at that. It's a bluebird. It says, your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. Like, bitch, we already know. You'll garner the recognition for your accomplishments that you so richly deserve. Yes, okay? Come on now. Come on now. I'm so excited. So excited for this upcoming week. And the Sun card, remember, the Sun card is associated to Leo energy. So Leo's definitely going to be highlighted this upcoming week. So for the challenge card, we got the Prince of Spring, and it's the dolphin. And it says, an opportunity arises that needs your attention right away. Moving quickly is important, yet there is nothing you can't handle if you follow your inner guidance. It says passionate, charismatic, confident, and restless. I think this dolphin, the challenge card, is referring to this Mercury square with Saturn, because it does say like an opportunity arises that needs your attention and you need to move quickly. That is definitely Aries type of energy. But with Mercury making a square to it, there could be a lot of doubts, emotions that come up that make you worried or make you scared, because remember, Mercury in Cancer is very much ruled by emotion. And so if there are some negative emotions that come up associated with this opportunity, such as fear, anxiety, it could get in the way of you actually acting on this opportunity because of past fears. And I did talk about this in the Venus-Jupiter conjunction video, because Venus and Jupiter are, yes, making this conjunction in the sign of Cancer. However, it is approaching a square to Chiron. And so there can be some feelings that come up with this, that trigger some feelings and woundings of the past that may get in the way of you actually experiencing and opening the door to these blessings. But with both of these cards, let's pull an advice card. But with both of these cards already, like it says, there's nothing you can't handle if you follow your inner guidance. So making sure that you are grounding yourself, you're centering yourself, and asking if these feelings of fear, anxiety, worry, overwhelm are actually associated with this new experience, or is it coming from a past experience that perhaps is getting in the way of your new blessings? There could be a new door that's opening up to you, and you're scared to walk through it because it looks or feels very similar to something else. And it may actually be completely different, but it could be that you've been burned in the past from opportunities, and so you're scared that by stepping through this door, even if it's a completely different door, if it's a completely different opportunity, in the past you've stepped through doors and you've gotten burned, and you're scared that, well, what if I step through this door and it's the same thing again? So I would definitely, once again, it says follow your inner guidance, follow your inner knowing. Overall, with Venus and Jupiter conjunction, it's a blessing, it's an opportunity. Even if things don't turn out the way you want them, at the end of the day, they are meant to give you some sort of guidance, or they were supposed to give you a certain lesson that you were meant to learn. So I wouldn't get so caught up in the emotion this week, if, especially as we approach, because the Venus-Jupiter conjunction is happening on Tuesday around 3 p.m. Eastern time, and then literally just a few hours later, I want to say about like 8 hours later, Mercury and Saturn are going to be making that square. So we're going to be feeling that in the background with this Venus-Jupiter. So I definitely do feel like that could be a possibility of an opportunity showing up and just feeling fear. But one of the, let's pull an advice card. Let's pull an advice card. Okay, yep. So the advice card for this week, we got the Three of Winter. We've gotten this card before, but I think it's very relevant to what this is right now. And it says, sadness is a part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little bit of time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you will be stronger than before. So yeah, it's not about neglecting the emotions, and it's not about pushing them down. It's not about being angry or upset that these emotions are coming up. You're allowed to feel them, you're allowed to experience them, and then work through them, heal them, and then continue to act from a place of understanding, not letting your emotions run the show. I really feel like reading the book for this one, and then we'll leave the reading at that. But for some reason, I do feel like there's a little bit of an extra message in here for this advice card. Whether you're human or a part of the animal kingdom, sadness is a part of life. Don't go through the healing process alone. Reach out to those who love and care for you. Let others who have experienced what you're going through offer their compassion and wisdom. You may need to take a little time to be sad, but make sure that you begin to work your way through these emotions soon. You'll heal through this loss, and in doing so, be stronger than you've ever been before. This card can also indicate a need for you to be there for someone who's hurting. Rose-breasted grosbeaks, that's the bird on the card, are beautiful birds with a red crest that's almost heart-shaped on their chest. For this reason, they represent healing from heartbreak and emotional pain, a reminder that time heals all wounds, and joy will come back into your life in due course. The grosbeak asks you to practice forgiveness of yourself and others and to release the past. This is so spot on because, like I said, and I do talk about it a lot more in depth in that Venus-Jupiter conjunction video about how Chiron is going to be affecting this Venus-Jupiter conjunction, which is going to bring up old past wounds, especially when it comes to relationships, especially when it comes to love. And so being able to open yourself up to and being vulnerable with other people is going to really help you heal through any types of feelings of limitation, of sadness. This Venus-Jupiter conjunction is definitely opening up your heart and opening up your body to receive, right? If you choose to do so. But if you're so bogged down and weighed down by the trauma, if you're so afraid because of past hurts, if you're feeling all this anxiety, if something has triggered you within these days that seems like an opportunity, but it's triggering feelings of insecurity, it's triggering feelings of fear because of the past, this Three of Winter, the advice card, is asking you to really, tap into your community, tap into the people around you, because there are people around you who really can help you, that have been through whatever it is that you've been through in the past, and maybe they don't know what it is that you're going through because you've never actually opened up about it. Definitely take some time this week to heal through any triggers, any emotions that do come up, because we do have a lot of energy in Cancer. Cancer is very emotional, and it's making squares to these planets in Aries, which is bringing up these feelings of like wanting to be by myself, wanting to be independent, also wanting a partner, wanting to feel community, wanting to be loved. So healing those woundings that come up during this week can open up your energetic field for the opportunities to flow in and make you feel safe in receiving. So overall, that is the energy for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's astrology forecast. I'm really excited for this week. Let me know in the comments down below how you're feeling this energy. Let me know your rising sign, your sun, your moon. And if you do have any questions on how all of this is affecting you, you want to deep dive into your chart, I do offer chart readings on my website. The link will be down below. But I'll see you guys in the next video.